Welcome to episode 10 of the NerdShredz Podcast. Today I'm joined by ZergGirl, StarCraft streamer. So enjoy. Okay guys, I'm joined today with ZergGirl or Kathy. So Kathy, thanks again, first of all, for actually being on the show. And how about you just start by telling people who are listening, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, Dale. Thank you for the invite.
Welcome.
Hi, guys. My name is Kathy. I go by the ID ZergGirl, and I am a Twitch streamer. And on my channel, I play competitive games, mostly StarCraft 2, sometimes Overwatch, on the rare occasion Hearthstone. So you can call me a Blizzard girl.
So how about you take us through like the ZergGirl journey? So like what games did you start playing? When did you start playing them? And maybe take us through like the journey of games you've sort of played up until like the point, now.
Yeah, sure. So for my gaming background, I'd say I've always been fascinated with video games. I remember seeing my first computer game when my family and I were at the store and they were shopping for a new desktop. And one of the things the salesperson showcased to us was a computer fighting game. I don't know what it was. I never really cared to research it, but I was just entranced by it.
Addicted.
Yeah, so I would always seek out whatever video games I could. So I played a bunch of variety. Then I actually got familiar with Brood War, which is the predecessor to StarCraft 2, of course, when my uncle had it on his desktop. And my sister and I would go over to his place, and basically there was only one computer, so we'd fight each other to see who would play for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just mostly played games against the AI and all of the campaign because my uncle didn't have internet, so I couldn't really do multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed the story for that, and that kind of kept with me through the years. When in my college days, StarCraft 2 came out, and I was curious about how the whole story from Brood War ended because it kind of, spoiler alert, ended on a cliffhanger. So just wanted to see where that went. Some of my college buddies were playing too. We played custom games together, mostly I think it's Big Hunter or whatever.
That's a good one.
Yeah, increased mineral income.
It was always Hero Line Wars we used to always get addicted to. That was quite a good one.
Yeah, the custom games are great. I feel like that drew a lot of the casual crowd in, but after a while they left and moved on to other games. But I kind of wanted to stick around because StarCraft was an expensive game. I paid $60 for it. I thought that there was more to it than just the custom games and the campaign. So I took to ladder, and that's been something I've been playing for years, ever since the first expansion, Wings of Liberty, until now.
Okay. So was that actually the first time you properly played competitively with StarCraft 2 when you were in college, yeah?
Yes.
Wow.
My first encounter with a competitive game. Before, I was more casual, variety. I was heavily into MapleStory, which is
oh my god,
MMO.
MapleStory, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so I played that for years, and that kind of gameplay is very different from StarCraft for sure.
You could actually put money into that as well, couldn't you? Like the MapleStory was like a low grade MMO, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, that was something I played starting in middle school, and I did put a ton of money into it because I actually had a job very early on in life. And then I would go to the 7-Eleven stores and pick up those cash cards. And now that I look back on it, it's so bad what I spent my money on. But basically, it was just cosmetics, plastic surgery in the game, hair, and then cute clothes. I never really spent on anything that was
actually productive.
Improving my gameplay. It was more just okay, look good in the game.
So since playing StarCraft 2 and competitively, do you play any other games competitively or?
Since StarCraft 2, I would say other competitive games I play. Well, when you mean competitive,
so it's just
the online multiplayer.
Yeah, well, when I say competitively, as in, do you play the game with the complete will to destroy the other person you're playing? You don't have to play with professionally, but yeah.
Yeah, I've taken to Overwatch, Hearthstone. I dabbled with Magic and Gwent,
Oh, okay.
um, CS:GO here and there, League of Legends.
Hmm.
Those two games mostly with friends, though I didn't really play it on my own. It's
Yeah.
more of social gaming for me. But yeah, I have a ton of competitive games, which is kind of sad because I feel like since I'm so distracted by it, and I feel like there's so much time and effort you can put into these games,
Hmm.
uh, like my gaming mindset has deviated away from single player. Like there's a lot of story mode games out there that are amazing, but
Hmm.
I could never really sit down and finish the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, my latest one might have been Pokemon Let's Go on the
Oh, yeah.
Switch, which is a very simple game.
That's right. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like what was it? We played Let's Go. There's a few of them that are like it's only single player games I'll really play now. Is like Pokemon. There was that one. What's it called? Temtem. Have you heard of that one? It's like
Uh,
it came out recently, but it's like an MMO that has
uh-huh.
almost blatantly ripped off Pokemon.
Oh, I think I've seen someone stream that.
But it's like it's like 2v2s, but it's an online
Uh-huh.
world, so you can just walk up to people and just fight anybody. So
Yeah.
it's like quite it's honestly like what you'd hope Pokemon would do, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So but no,
They
that's
should
that's
have
quite
done
cool.
that.
Yeah. So you mentioned a few card games there. Have you tried League of Legends one? What's it called? Runeterra? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called Runeterra. I haven't tried it yet, um, just because like I've kind of stopped card games for now,
Mm.
although I've been taking a look at Hearthstone since the whole pandemic and all. I got a lot
Mm-hmm.
more free time. But yeah, I haven't checked it out. I'm more waiting for their shooter, Valorant.
Ah, okay,
I'm
yeah,
more interested
that
in
does
that
look pretty
one.
good. The teaser
Mhm.
trailers are, pointing that it's going to be quite good. So it's yeah, I hope it does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you were saying there, do you actually stream these other games you play, or do you mostly play them off stream?
Um, Mostly it's been StarCraft.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a higher rank in there, and it's taking a lot of games. So that's where most of my focus is. But when I'm trying to wind down after a
Mm-hmm.
ladder session, then I've been taken to actually like Overcooked, Left 4 Dead with
Overcooked
my
is good.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're normally not gamers, but they have a lot of free time because they're quarantined in California as well. And then like we've just been doing some family gaming, and it's
Hmm.
been pretty cool.
So how's your family feel about you like pursuing like a streaming career essentially? Because I mean, when you get over a certain amount of views, it becomes a point where you could do it as a profession. Is that something that your family get involved with, or they you don't really like it so much, or?
So I'd say like in my younger years, my family was not as supportive of my gaming because they wanted me to focus on my schooling at the time,
Mm-hmm.
which was like middle school, high school. It's very important to them. So any time away from my studies was seen as a waste. But uh, in college and afterwards, they started becoming a lot more supportive
Mm-hmm.
and encouraging, and sometimes even like acknowledging it. Oh, like show this for your stream, or oh, why'd you do that for your stream? Um, it's like part of our daily conversations.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's also shown up on my stream as well. We play games together. I think the last one we did was Resident Evil,
Oh,
along
that's
with
cool.
my little brother. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a bottle of wine open, and it was a very scary game, but I have it as a VOD, and I look back on it still, even though it's like years ago.
That's really cool. So you're also you're on Root Gaming as well. Is that something I've read correctly? It was a lot of things that people like to know is how people break in or get involved with these gaming teams or esports and stuff. So how did you actually get into like Root Gaming or start with them?
All right. So Root Gaming's been around for quite some time. It was founded by Katz and I believe his friend Drewby,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a bunch of all-star people back in the day when StarCraft had a lot of popularity because it was near like the beginning of
Yeah.
mainstream esports. They're still around. They still have a professional roster of players and streamers. And I actually got involved with them because earlier before I knew some of the players, like acquaintances, because I've gone to many tournaments since I was living in California at the time. There were MLGs, IEMs, IPLs, NASL, like all sorts of
Mm-hmm.
tournaments just in the area. So I was able to, like, even though I didn't really get to know them too well, it's like, oh, people I was familiar with. Cats, I think the owner,
Mm-hmm.
I might have like, I can't really recall where I met her from. I think I might have been at the Vegas tournament, but it was just like brief encounters.
Okay. Were you competing in any of these tournaments or?
Oh no, it was more for spectating
Okay.
because it was like a completely new scene for me. Because before my background was MMO, right?
Yep.
I never really looked into esports or anything. So when StarCraft blew up, it was just so fascinating because this was like my childhood franchise, and then like combined with like how fun video games are for me, like it was just something that I was drawn to.
That's really cool.
And then for Root itself, I basically had I dated someone playing in Root, and then
Okay.
he actually ended up living at the team house, and I was going to school around the area at the time. So I would come visit, and in that way, I started to know Cats a lot more. So we're actually good friends now, and then um, yeah, basically later on, he was just like, "Oh yeah, since you've been helping out with the team, because I like wrote some articles and proofread some stuff for their website, and also helped to like organize tournaments when I was living over there.
Oh,
He
okay.
offered a spot for me. So even though I'm not like a very high rank in StarCraft, I enjoy doing more like behind the scenes sort of thing, like
Mm-hmm.
sponsorships and just networking.
That's really cool. I mean, I've been a massive fan of the early StarCraft days back when, cats would be hatch rushing outside people's bases and stuff, man. So it's
Hmm.
definitely not lost on me, and especially if you think people think are listening that cats is definitely one of those original names you'll always just hear crop up when people mention early
Oh
StarCraft
yeah,
2.
people
Um,
always ask me about him.
that's cool. So do you actually follow like the pro scene quite a lot? You watch like GSL, ESL, and stuff.
I would say not really. I
Okay.
know I have a lot of friends and acquaintances who participate or are involved in some way, but I don't really watch tournaments because I feel like whenever I start like a series or something, I already tune in,
Mm-hmm.
I get this itch to play myself. Like I want to start playing, like I don't want to watch people do it. So when I do consult tournaments or like look at the VODs,
Mm-hmm.
it's more for like trying to improve my own gameplay to see like, okay, what's the meta game now? How am I supposed to deal with this strat?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Okay. And what about streamers? Do you consume other streamers when you're not streaming, or is it you basically have to switch off completely when you're not streaming?
For me, after I'm finished streaming, I usually stay on my computer for a bit. Uh, well, not even for a bit, for a long time, because I do like to hang around other people's streams. I feel like the StarCraft community is quite tight knit
Yeah.
uh, because they're small. So I just like to hop around, and everyone is familiar with each other. They have their own stories to tell and to interweave. So I just find that interesting.
That's
I
cool.
feel like very committed and involved with some of these channels. Like I've helped to donate, helped to like send viewers over to help to get that spawn popularity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So talking maybe a bit more about StarCraft in particular, you obviously are streaming quite a lot and you do play at a high level. What do you sort of think of the current state of StarCraft just now? Do you think it's in a good place?
Um, I'm a bit conflicted about that because I feel like there could always be change, and I think what's optimal is to change up the meta game too. Because even if it's perfect, it can get stale.
Mm-hmm.
If people are doing the same things over and over again. Um, However, that is clouded in doubt because the StarCraft team has been cut back a bit because Blizzard's
Mm-hmm.
has shifted mainly towards maintaining their PR and also Overwatch and Hearthstone.
Yep.
StarCraft is kind of a classic game. It's pretty old. I think it's like 10 years old, maybe
Yeah,
at this
StarCraft 2,
point.
yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Yeah. So for them, it's more classic. Esports scene didn't depict as big as numbers as they did back then, but yeah, our community is pretty passionate and it helps to sustain the game as an esport.
Yeah, I think that's like a good part of like just StarCraft in general, which makes it good is the fact that it is this ever-changing beast that just, anything can sort of happen patch by patch, but
Yeah.
it's like never finished, That's kind of like
Hmm.
the ideology of it. It's just quite good. So
Yeah.
you mostly play Zerg as well. Is there any reason why, or what made you sort of want to play Zerg over like the other races?
Um, I liked playing Zerg because I that's the race that I picked in Brood War. I was
Okay.
more interested in their story and the infrastructure of how Zerg works. Like they
Hmm.
have an overmind, they have like a hive mind system, they have cerebrates. Um, so it was just fascinating to get into compared to just delving into like regular old humans. Protosses were interesting as well, but I'm just more drawn to how the Zerg work.
Humans were just too boring.
Uh, they were just too boring. I'm good with I'm human. But yeah, for StarCraft 2, I did the same thing. I'm like, okay, I liked Zerg and Brood War. I'm gonna go for Zerg first. But in terms of playstyle, I think I would have preferred probably Terran or Protoss because I feel like I'd like to just kind of, try to execute my own builds, do my
Yeah,
own thing, whereas Zerg is a bit more reactive in
yeah,
some
just a bit
cases.
more defensive. Yeah, makes
Hmm.
sense. Excuse me. So if you were to say make changes to the current meta, what would you change?
Make changes.
Hmm. You're a developer. What would you
So,
change?
if I was a developer, well, I feel like a lot of the sentiment that I've been seeing is that Zerg has been winning a lot of the major tournaments, and they shouldn't really have that many inflated numbers. I guess if it was truly a perfectly balanced game, we'd be seeing equal amounts of Terran, Protoss, and
Hmm.
Zerg winners.
Yeah,
So so I think Zerg maybe needs some sort of nerf, or not even nerf. Like the other races need
buff. Yeah.
something added to their repertoire
Hmm.
actually, to one to prevent the meta from getting stale, and also to see like if they can explore different options and different ways to execute strategies in the game.
Yeah, especially when you look at like some of the winners, like like Dark and Cyril, like they're just these Zerg beasts that seem to be
Yeah.
like untouchable at the moment. But
Mhm.
yeah, like GSL's just started again, so it's quite interesting to see how the recent changes have affected. And again, it's like that excitement of there's these new builds and stuff, and I've been watching Zest absolutely destroy people recently. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to get back into like just yeah these new changes and how these pro players think of stuff, and it's just crazy. 'Cause again, some of them will need hot fixed because you just don't realize the potential of these professional players and what they can do with these builds. Sometimes it's crazy. But so your stream in general, do you want to continue taking it in a like sort of StarCraft direction, or what's your like future plans for the stream?
So my stream is I've always taken a hobby approach to it. And then there are moments or phases throughout my streaming career where I was going through full-time bouts.
Hmm.
So yeah, for the past couple of years, I've been going to school, having a full-time job, and then now I quit my job almost 3 months ago
Okay.
and to look for new opportunities. And since then, I started like I think my third time full-time streaming. Um, that's to kind of help pay the bills while I'm still searching for a new job. And I found it actually like pretty helpful, especially given today's predicament. Stay at home, don't really have to like socialize too much because I'm actually doing it over the
Hmm.
computer with viewers. Um, so, but I feel like I still have taken a hobby approach towards it. Like, oh, this is for fun, but it's going to be temporary because my aim is to actually find myself a stable career
Hmm.
in gaming and esports.
Okay. You want to
Hmm.
in esports? Sorry,
I'm sorry?
what did you say? In esports is what you're trying to pursue? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
esports
Oh,
and
that's cool.
gaming.
Ah, that's
Mhm.
cool. Okay. So, talking about like other games, is there any like new releases you're looking forward to, or anything like that?
Um, I'm looking forward to Valorant because it's free to play. I believe it's gonna be, or what people have depicted it as, is like CS:GO with magic or
Hmm.
something, which I really like the idea of. I think that's something interesting I can play with my stream as well. So maybe I can change direction because I've been playing StarCraft for a long time. So we'll see.
Need to mix up a bit.
Um, yeah. Other games to look forward to. Honestly, I don't have that much of a scope. I actually sold my Switch recently just because I'm
Oh
like, I have
man.
so many games on my plate. Like, I need to like narrow things down here.
Yeah, Switch is pretty good. I always feel like if the internet went down, I mean, especially just now with all the Corona stuff going on, our
Hmm.
internet service providers are kind of struggling with the traffic. So if there's
Yeah,
nothing to play, I'll just grab my Switch and I'll just sit and play Mario
yeah,
Kart. That's the
that's
closest
nice.
thing, you know. But
Hmm.
selling it, I think that would kill my soul a little bit. So what about all
Yeah, it
these?
was a.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I was just gonna say it's a great console. I was just like, I have way too many games. They're just lying there, not doing anything. Like,
I feel like it's a
yeah.
waste. Yeah, that makes sense. So these like
Hmm.
seems to be trending just now. Like the I just get like refurbished RTSs. You have like your Warcraft 3, Age of Empires, and Command and Conquer. You know these old school RTSs. Do any of these seem to take your appeal, or is that not really your stuff?
So I did play some Warcraft 3,
Okay.
and I did enjoy it a lot. But I think I just have like a really strong pull to get better in StarCraft for.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, my scope is pretty narrow. But I have tried out the campaign for Warcraft 3, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, even though it's a bit outdated and movement is kind of clunky,
Mm-hmm.
like I am familiar with the Warcraft lore, so it was cool to see like, oh, how Arthas turned bad, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting to compare it to Brood War campaigns as well. Like, oh, they have the same concept, like hold out for 30 minutes, try not to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm. But
Another game that I tried.
it's definitely like I feel like the Blizzard storylines are the only games I think of looking back of like solo player games that really enjoyed the campaigns were like again Brood War, StarCraft 2. I just the Legacy of the Void ending to that was just like a movie. It was brilliant. And then
Hmm.
like Gears of War that was quite good as well. But I feel like that style of game, I think it's more just maybe it's just me. I just prefer the matchmaking style games where you're 1v1 and 2v2 and or whatever. But um, I feel like that's missing from Blizzard games now when they come out. Like if there was a proper
Hmm.
Overwatch story mode, I'd be loving that. But it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
there is. But yeah,
Yeah, it was odd when Overwatch came out and I paid that much money and I'm like, oh, there's no story mode. It's just multiplayer all around. But they've added a lot more features to it since then, and they're uh, gonna do a lot more with like co-op, which
hmm
might dip into lore. I'm not sure. We'll see with Overwatch too.
I did play a bit of the was it the co-op commander that was on StarCraft 2. There was like
Hmm.
a couple of my mates they're not really RTS players. That just was considered like the hard type of game to play that they didn't want to put the time into. So
Yeah.
playing the co-op commander was very much like you could almost play it lying back in your chair. So
Uh-huh.
that's definitely one that, especially when they made StarCraft free to play, I think a lot of people picked
Yeah.
that up. It was quite good. They did some
Yeah.
interesting things with that.
Hmm.
Um,
Co-op is one of the most popular modes in StarCraft too. Whenever they show us the numbers at like the developer summit
hmm
that they hold at every BlizzCon, they were just like, "Oh yeah, look at all these numbers." It makes them some money because they're selling like the commanders as extra content.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, what was the last one? Was it the Ghost expansion? I remember buying that one. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
and again, it was like I really wanted more of the story mode. It was more just like here's some more missions. But I was hoping for
Hmm.
like some kind of spin-off story, but yeah, there wasn't much. But
Yeah.
anything StarCraft released like that, I'm obviously gonna buy it. So
Hmm.
they've got their market. So, but so you didn't waste money on like Warcraft 3 Reforged or anything like that, then no?
No, I was gifted a copy, which is
Okay,
why I haven't refunded mine because it
it
was
was
a
a
gift.
gift.
Yeah, and also it's the deluxe edition too, and it comes with some goodies. So one of the interfaces in my game where you see like the command card and everything,
hmm
it's I think elven themed, so there's like a bunch of green leaves
Oh, that's
just
cool.
decorating it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is really pretty.
I'll keep it 'cause it looks nice. I like it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it's worth keeping anyway for the time being. Seems like they might potentially be making more and more changes to
yeah.
it. But yeah.
I'm sure they'll get better. They have teams dedicated to this sort of thing.
hmm
Like I said with Overwatch, they didn't really have anything if you compare to what it has now. Like they just keep adding to it. And with Brood War, they're always adding new quality of life features.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy actually. I didn't realize it was. I think it was Tasteless's podcast I was listening to a while ago, and it was. I didn't realize that still in Korea it was mostly they've still watched StarCraft 1. Like they still mostly watch
Yeah.
ASL, and then the rest of
Uh-huh.
the world will watch more StarCraft 2. That baffled me a bit because I knew they were still making changes to it and stuff. But
Mhm.
and I don't mind watching like ASL finals and stuff, but I couldn't really enjoy Brood War to the same extent as watching StarCraft 2. But I guess it's just what you like, I suppose.
Yeah.
But so yeah, just completely off topic, but I feel like it's almost inevitable to talk about it because I think every Twitch chat has at least like every 50 minutes someone talking about coronavirus, and
Mhm.
I'm sure folk have been in yours as well. But how is coronavirus affecting you where you are?
I would say, well, again, Washington is one of the most hard hit states,
Hmm.
and um, the U.S. So we've also taken to lockdowns, which could be enforceable by law. So no group gatherings at public places, or else like police can come by and disperse you. Non-essential businesses are closed down, and there's like a list circulating so you can see
Where you can
uh,
go?
what's open and stuff. Not where you can go, although some I've read that some people have taken to like making a website that's free for businesses to use, so people can consult it to see who's still, yeah,
Oh, okay.
operating. Yeah, so that's not government funded. It's like things that people are trying to do to survive.
Oh, right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's pretty empty out there. I go on daily runs, and yeah, you can see that there's less traffic, less foot traffic. Although the weather's been clearing up lately, so that's kind of rare in Seattle. It's
Hmm.
mostly overcast, gloomy. So when it is sunny, it's actually very beautiful and glorious because there's a lot of greenery here because it rains so much.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people have been going to public places, which is why the lockdown happened or the quarantine happened recently. I was seeing pictures where like popular hiking spots were peppered with people like so close to one another. And yeah, I know it's a beautiful day, but still it's kind of unsettling
Yeah, just a
to
little
look
bit.
at. Yeah. And then when I was running past the park, there were so many people there. One of those days, like there were kids and even old people walking around. I was just
Yeah.
like, dang, like they don't really care. But since the quarantine happened, I think it's definitely lessened for sure. Like there's like a warning tape, I
Oh,
think,
okay.
on some of the playgrounds, like yellow caution tape or whatever.
Oh, so they can't use it. Wow.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's official. You just cannot come here.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's like here, it's the same. It's kind of quiet, but you get to do like one bit of exercise a day, I think, outside and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I did see a few of the videos. I can't remember what it was. It was like I think it was like spring break videos of people on the beach, and they were
Yeah.
like interviewing people, and they were saying like, "I'm young, I'm fine," but like
Yeah, I saw that. It sounded really obnoxious.
oh man, it was just like yeah. But yeah, that's the whole point. It's like, do you have like a quarantine like time? If you got to like stay inside for like, I think we've got like
Like a
I think
curfew?
well, we've got like I think it's like a month. We've been told we have to quarantine, but it looks like it's
Oh,
probably
okay.
going to be longer, sort of thing.
I
Um,
think 2 weeks
okay.
was what was said,
Mm,
but it's probably gonna extend.
yeah, seems like it. I mean, one good
Mhm.
thing it does seem to be like there's like a lot of old school gaming mates that I used to have. They sort of have came back to playing games now because they've got nothing else to do. So
Yeah,
like, getting some old game mates back, that's probably the only good side of it. So that's not too
and
bad, I suppose.
that's one good thing. People are gonna have more free time, whether they like it or not. Kind of like,
Yeah.
all right, what can the solitary mind do? And I think that could foster some creativity. Already, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to finish this book. I haven't really worked much on, but yeah, I see like videos where people are singing, making music, making art. So that's one positive.
Yeah, it's been quite a lot of like trending dances and stuff on TikTok. Like I'm
Hmm.
not really a user of TikTok, but like my cousins and stuff are a lot younger, and a lot of them have yeah like this TikTok dances they're all doing, and they're just sending it back and forth to each other, and it's like well
Oh,
that
okay.
keeps you amused, that keeps you going. So
Yeah,
but yeah,
keep the
that's good.
muscles in use.
So you were saying that you go for a run a day. Like I said at the start of my stream, there's a bit of a fitness element to like what I sort of do. And some of it will just be like I'll be doing things like pull-ups for every time I die and stuff like that, like just stupid little things like that. So what do you do to sort of keep yourself fit, like fitness-wise, and like, you know, what you eat and stuff?
Well, my routine is pretty simple. Basically, what I'm trying to do now is run every day. Run like 2 to 3 miles,
Okay.
and just kind of maintain that. Just run every day, and that's about it. Do some stretches beforehand. Although I've been looking into incorporating weights, but yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I was never really much of an athlete. I didn't do a lot of physical activity back in school. So I was pretty out of shape. So I started with the Couch to 5K app because my stamina was so low. I could not run for like a minute straight. So I just worked on that. And then even though running was very difficult in the beginning, it was tiring. I didn't want to do it. I just kept going at it. And then soon instead of feeling like bored and tired and annoyed, I feel like it's kind of gotten to the point where it's like once you're in a rhythm, you get into like this meditative state. And I find that very helpful, especially before streaming. Just kind of get my blood flowing, get my mind like calm, relaxed, and refreshed for my stream. Before, when I was doing my other full-time bouts, I wasn't doing much physical exercise, and I think that kind of contributed to me ending the full-time status and like just switching direction to something else.
That's cool. And how about your eating? Do you actually have like a set plan, or do you just sort of like, because I work out this much, I can, you know, eat what I want kind of thing?
Well, for eating wise, I've been trying to follow intermittent fasting.
Okay.
The 16-hour fasting time, 8-hour eating period.
Yeah.
As well as just trying to maintain like a certain calorie count per day. Just keeping it simple. Try to eat fresh. We've been getting a lot of organic vegetables and fruits from our local market. And I've been refraining from ordering takeout or getting junk food just because it's pricey, unnecessary. It doesn't really like fill you up as much as vegetables do, honestly. But yeah.
That's basically,
it's not too strict.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's basically what, I mean, a lot of people I do, and even if I train people, it's the same. It's like, well, for me, streaming as well, it's like, it's such a big window if you stream for a while. So it's really easy not to eat while I'm streaming. So I think if I just, while I'm sleeping, while I'm streaming, I don't eat, and you fast for like that period of time, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same. And then I'll have like one cheat day where I'll just eat like anything pretty much, which normally results in like a McDonald's or something. But the rest of the time is like generally healthy. So, although if I don't have that cheat, then I feel like I just fall off the wagon a little bit. So,
spoil yourself every once in a while.
So, what's your go-to like fast food or dirty meal if you need to cheat?
Okay, I actually haven't had a fast food in a while. I've been getting like takeout at like pretty nice restaurants. We have a lot in Seattle.
Nice.
But I've been craving McDonald's lately. It's been a while. I think it's because I had it a lot when I was young, so it's like more like nostalgia.
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
It's comforting.
Well, they had the announcement. I think they only shut like 2 days ago here. Like McDonald's was open, but like just for drive-through. They shut like 2 days ago, and because they announced it was their last day open, I think they ran out of food. There's just like so many people that was queuing up for food. It was absolutely ridiculous, man. So yeah, good times. So normally what I do towards the podcast, Kathy, is I'll do like a quick fire question round. So like when I'm streaming, I'll tell people that I'm doing a podcast with you, and some of them will put like questions forward and stuff. You don't, when I've done this in the past, I've said it's a quick fire question round. You don't have to answer the questions quickly. They're just completely random and they're not related. Okay. That's what I mean. So are you up for that? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. First question. What's your favorite StarCraft unit?
My favorite StarCraft unit is the ZergGirl.
ZergGirl. Okay. Why is that? Don't know. Just is.
They're really cute. They look like little dinosaurs. That's like one of the first units that drew me to the Zergrees in Brood War. Well, especially in Brood War because they looked a lot more reptilian then.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is one question that people ask me a lot. Like, why do you like Zerg? Do you like bugs? I do not like bugs, but the Zerg race resembled more like dinosaurs, reptiles, which I was interested in.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. And then in StarCraft 2, they started, I think they started to emphasize the more bug-like aspects.
Yeah, they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the animations of Brood War, especially like thinking like back to Hydralisk and stuff, they had much more of a like dinosaur feel to it, I guess. Yeah,
Serpentine.
Never even thought of that, yeah. Okay, that's good. If you were to play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be? Thinking of the answer to that.
I'm probably StarCraft because I just feel like there's so many ways to improve. Like, let's say I hit Grandmaster in Zerg.
Mm-hmm.
Great, but I can always aim for another level. I can always swap to Protoss or Terran or even go random.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very involved community with this game as well. So if I get bored of flattering, what I do is maybe I'll go socialize and play team games with some other people I know. Or I do like viewer games within my stream, just pick out like random people wanting to play StarCraft. I've been getting a lot more responses for that just because people are quarantined, so they're staying in. So it's nice to have a party up and running very fast.
Yeah, it can be good fun to watch as well, definitely. What's the worst game you've ever played?
The worst game. Oh my gosh. The worst game. I have to think about this.
Should we come back to that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's come back to
that one, okay. What TV shows are you watching just now?
What TV shows? I'm watching Hunter x Hunter because that was recommended to me.
I'm not sure what that is.
A couple of friends.
I'm going to Google it. Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's something nice to watch before I go to sleep because it is a bit simple.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But another TV show I watched recently was Watchmen. Just because I was a big fan of the comic book, the graphic novel, and I wasn't that big of a fan of the movie, but I like the graphic novel. Yeah. I like Alan Moore and his other works, V for Vendetta.
Yeah, V for Vendetta's good. Quite like that. Was good.
But yeah, that was a fantastic TV show on HBO that they made.
Ah, okay. Oh, actually, one of the questions I had here: what was your favorite fast food? So we can put that down to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Cool. Most embarrassing streaming moment.
Most embarrassing streaming moment. Well, I would say this happened very recently. Happened yesterday.
Okay.
Basically, we had a streamer bash where Zombie Grub, who is a well-known caster, decided to get a group of StarCraft personalities, and then we would be playing arcade games and other modes of StarCraft together. And for one of the games, it was Phantom mode. It's kind of like Mafia. When we started up, Zombie Grub asked me to pause the game. So I clicked on the button on my keyboard, and then I collect artisan keycaps, handmade keycaps. They have like sculpts on them, can look like a cat, sheep, whatever. So I had a bird keycap on it. I press the pause button and it gets stuck. It's like still pressed, it gets stuck. So what results is that in the game it starts doing pause, unpause, pause, unpause over and over again. And they're like, they think I'm doing this on purpose. They don't know what's going on. They try to pause, then I like frantically like, oh wait, please stop, my keycap is stuck. Like, and they're just like, what is going on? Because I always like brag about keycaps, like, oh, they're so cute, but they're not really functional. So I place them on keys on my board that I don't use.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I use like the initial function row, and then the rest I just place them. They're more for decorative purposes. And
I was actually going to ask.
I
did see them on Instagram. I thought maybe you made them or something because there was quite a few of them. I was like, wow. But yeah, I did see all the cat ones and stuff like that. They don't look very practical. Look like they would actually almost hurt if you were slamming the keys, you know?
Yeah, some people are okay with this. Some people like the texture. I honestly prefer just the regular keycaps. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've tried it before. I hated it. It's more for looks. Like I just think it looks cute.
Looks cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
What was your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject was in college. I'd say I took a very interesting class, which was science fiction literature.
That's a class?
Um,
Wow, I've never heard that before.
yeah, so basically just a more advanced English class.
Right, okay.
And the reading materials, a bunch of sci-fi books, and I
Oh, that's
really
cool.
enjoyed that because usually, back in school you read the classics and they're not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, the big
Uh,
novels.
yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of drawn to sci-fi genre before, and then when I took this class, it was great because you get to go more in depth about like literary devices, and then the professor was also kind, and he would recommend great books for us. He would like the reading material itself was just so fascinating. I enjoyed like one of the books that I've read so much, which was Stars My Destination by
Okay.
Alfred Bester. It's a pretty old sci-fi book. It's like from the 40s, but
Okay, I've never
I
heard of
had
it.
a great time reading it. It really resonated with me. It's something that like I have a copy of it back home. I like to read it every once in a while just
Mm-hmm.
to like refresh my aspect on things.
That's cool. And did you get an A in the class?
Oh yeah, I did easily.
Easy, easy.
Uh-huh.
And last question, what's your favorite superhero?
Oh, my favorite superhero. I mean, if we're looking at the movie superhero universe,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd have to pick like a movie that I really liked. I'd say Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's that movie wasn't like the absolute best, but it appealed to me. I'd love to have her powers. Like daughter of a god, why not? Um, yeah, it was
Yeah,
a charming movie.
I think you can relate to having the powers. It's weird though, because I love Deadpool. He's one of my favorite hero,
Mhm.
but like having his powers, I don't think it'd be that great. Like,
It seems painful.
just you still feel all the pain, but you just eventually heal up. I mean, it's not great. It's
Yeah.
not the best, but
Yeah.
actually the film's great. It's good. So, but yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, revert back to that question. Your worst game ever. You can think of something.
I feel like it's probably gonna be a phone game. Like I'm just not a fan of phone games.
It's all phone
Like
game. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Mm,
yeah, because I just feel like they're a bit deceptive. And I remember a lot of them they kind of start off with like, oh yeah, take a look at their game. It's cool, it's fun, it's cute. All right, you had your fill, pay for more time or like buy gems or something. And
yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, that's awful. Oh, if I had to pick, I would say Maple Story got bad, like
Oh,
really
really?
bad after a certain patch. Yeah.
I can't say I played it past like I think how old was like 13 maybe. Yeah, like
Yeah.
after that I just stopped. So whatever still exists. I'm gonna quick Google.
Mhm.
Must still
There
keep.
was a huge patch which changed everything, like the interface and like honestly everything about the game, which made me quit, which was called the Big Bang.
Okay.
And it introduced these new cash shop items, so things that you could buy with real money called cubes. And basically, it was all what stats you get. So basically, you pay $3. It rolls like a die, and then it's like, okay, you get this stat. And so people don't want that stat. They want
Mm-hmm.
like the ultimate best stat, but you have to buy like hundreds of these cubes in order to get that. Like it's completely luck based. And then when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is gonna break the game. Like
Yeah.
I can't play this anymore. This is terrible. I can't remember, but there are other features that I didn't like about it. They also like changed up the interface, which was kind of weird. It had that like classic appeal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sounds
but
like it got
yeah, it
a little
got
bit money hungry.
terrible. Yeah,
Mm. But yeah,
it's like a
that
complete mess.
so new Maple Story. That's what we're saying. Is it? That's
Yeah,
it.
I didn't like it personally. I know a lot of people would like
I didn't even realize it was still a thing.
leveling easier. Yeah, it's still a thing, especially in Korea. I saw that they have huge viewership at night,
Wow.
which I think is best for Korean times. Like much larger than StarCraft at some points. And it's not even, there's no
Wow.
tournaments. It's just personalities.
It's just
So
people
I
playing.
thought that was interesting.
Well, it's the same as what's it called? The Grand Theft Auto. I've forgotten what's called. The category where you can like pretend to be a person.
Roleplay?
Yeah, it's like proper roleplay category. It's some of
Yeah.
them are getting like 40,000 people watching them like pretend to be a police officer and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
wow, it's mental. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's crazy. Folk want to watch. I know I'm actually going to watch a little bit of Maple Story just to see what it's like now because it's just just want to see how it's progressed since I've last played. But yeah, I wasted many of hours playing that game.
Yeah.
But MMOs are kind of like that though, or that style of games. I feel like you just sort of come off your PC and you're like, oh my god, it's like where'd the last 5 hours go, sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's good.
And it's like very grindy. There's not much thought into some things. So I'm just like, I can't play this genre anymore. I'm done after Maple Story.
It's better with StarCraft. At least you know the games are either over in 5 seconds because you've been rushed, or
Exactly.
So finally, what I normally do just to end the podcast is just try and give something a little back to the community and people who are listening. And it's just if someone was trying to maybe pursue something that's like to be a successful streamer or getting a stream that people would want to come watch, what advice would you give somebody who's wanting to start up and do something similar?
Okay. Yeah, if someone's starting from scratch, I mean, when I played games, I had like a crappy laptop that I used from college. Um, you would want to first see what resources are out there, like online resources. There's a lot of guides. Mostly I've been consulting like the Twitch subreddit forums, and there's a lot of YouTube videos that tell you how to improve your setup. Like they recommend you what to buy, and some of the gear that they recommend doesn't break your wallet. It's like cheap and easy to use. It's still a pretty expensive venture overall because you have to factor in internet, monitors, desktops, peripherals, every games.
Mm-hmm.
But getting past that, establishing that as a baseline, once you get started with streaming, it's a whole different world out there. Like you can take whatever direction you want. What I like when I try to explain streaming to some people, I'm like, it's not just turning on my webcam and opening up the app and just playing games. There's a lot more to it. You need to interact with your viewers. You need to like kind of establish goals for your stream. Like for mine, what I've painted for my stream is like, all right, chill place to hang out. Let's play StarCraft, get better,
Mm-hmm.
and just chill. Talk about random stuff, listen to music. Other streams I've noticed is like very systematic. Like, okay, let's get better from bronze to grandmaster.
Yeah.
And then other streamers also have like a persona as well. Like you have the rager, you have like, the analytical one, the scholar, the clown, that sort of thing. Like you need to paint a picture for what your stream is going to look like to a viewer, and then maintain some sort of consistency to it in terms of the big picture, and also having a good stream schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure it's something that's maintainable. Like maybe you'll work with your full-time job, something that's not going to burn you out. Like take a couple days off. For me, I just take it whenever.
Yeah.
Like try to take off like at least 2 days per week, and then stream the rest. But it's not set in stone. I'm trying to like be more relaxed about this sort of thing. One thing that I noticed that really helps with streaming is networking. Like check to see if there's events in your area or in nearby cities that are like easy to travel to, or just book a ticket somewhere. In America, we have a lot of tournament conventions like DreamHack, IEM.
Yeah.
We also have PAX and a bunch of other stuff. Honestly, I just remember PAX because that happens in Seattle and I always go. And I'm like, all right, that's all I kind of need for now. But it really helps to network there. Like I've actually had my own business cards printed out at
Oh, really?
Staples. Yeah, I never really entertained the idea of business cards, but when I've gone to these events, everyone has them. They pass it to me, and I'm like, oh, this is actually nice to keep track because you can
You
meet
forget.
so many people. Sometimes
Hmm.
you forget, you don't know who does what. And let's say you do approach them, and you're like, okay, what did they do again? Oh, here, this business card has their like Twitter, it has their gaming channel, has their gamer tag and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so that's been pretty helpful. Like that's really helped me out in the StarCraft community to gain more of a presence because I've been to so many StarCraft events. I've met people. They've liked me. We're friends. I see them streaming. I host them. They see me stream. They host me. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of create a bit of a bond from there.
That's cool. Yeah, I actually you mentioned just packs there as well. I remember the original League of Legends days. The pack skins used to always be the best, and you'd only get them if you went to these PAX events. And I was like, in Scotland, there's no way I was going to these events because it was just too expensive to go to them. But yeah, I'd be so jealous of these folk. You just see, it's like that skin is amazing, and there's no other way to get it. It's like right, great, but yeah. But no,
there's a lot of gaming events all over the U.S. I haven't really looked into satisfied with the West Coast. Like we have a lot of stuff over here. But I did think it's very helpful for like maybe pursuing job opportunities in the esports industry, like getting some names down, talking to people, like asking about their roles and like seeing what's out there.
Yeah, Scotland's not really got the same level of opportunities. I think mostly London, I think it's got quite a few decent tournaments and things like that, but still quite a long way for us to go. So I think you're probably in the right place if you're wanting to pursue a career like that. But
move to America.
yeah, sounds good. I'll just get my green card. So, but yeah, but no, I think that's good advice to sort of end on. If you want to tell people where they can find you, Kathy, like where. Plug your socials and stuff like that. You can do that just now so folk know.
Yeah, sure. So my Twitch channel is at ZergGirl, so ZergGirl. So that's for my Twitch and Instagram. Twitter is at ZergGirl with 2 R's near the end, so ZergGirl. That's pretty much it for my social media presence.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like and subscribe. It really helps me and the channel out a lot. And it also keeps you up to date with all the new guests too. Cheers. See ya.